Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. You are listening to the Next Gen Game Plan, a podcast for future sports leaders. I'm your host, Tyler Darr, and on this podcast, I'll be interviewing sports industry professionals to learn about their career paths and what advice they have for those looking to break into sports. Today, we will be joined by Megan Bustios. Megan Bustios is the Premium Service Supervisor for the LA Galaxy. She completed her undergraduate studies at the University of Arizona while working in the athletic training room for the Arizona football team. She earned her master's in sports management from Long Beach State, where she worked various part-time internships, including time with the Rose Bowl, Los Angeles Chargers, and LA Galaxy. She started her first full-time role with UCLA Athletics on the ticket sales and service team before eventually getting to where she is today. Megan, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to see where this goes, and I'm really excited to learn more about your journey.
Yes.
So let's dive right in. To get started, could you tell us about your background and your journey of how you got to where you are today?
Yeah. So I have always been involved in sports my whole life. I grew up playing soccer. I was the tomboy of the group, always around sports my entire life. When it came time to go to college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So it was important for me to go to a school that had a lot of different majors and things I could explore, because they always say you change your major like at least 2 to 3 times on average anyways. So Arizona was the place that fit the bill for me after touring a bunch of places. I went to a basketball game and absolutely loved it, toured campus, and they had a ton of different majors I could choose from. So I decided to go there. I volunteered in the athletic training room my freshman year, and then eventually, or for the football team, and then eventually they hired me as a part-time role. So I worked around 35 hours a week for the Arizona football team, the athletic training room. I worked practices, I worked games. So I taped all the guys' ankles before practice and games, worked with them in the training room if they were going through any injuries. And I was basically like a water girl on the sidelines for practices and games, which was an amazing college job. I loved it. But when it came time, like right before graduation, a couple months before, I was just like, okay, maybe I don't want to tape ankles and be in the training room. No, disrespect or anything to people that do that. I just realized it was a really fun college job for me, and that really wasn't what I wanted to do long term. So I went back to Torrance, where I grew up, went back to the drawing board, and I had a friend that did the Long Beach State Sport Management Program. It's an accelerated 18-month sport management program. I applied and got into that. So I started that February of 2018 after I graduated from Arizona in May of 2017. And with the Long Beach State Sport Management Program, again, just like I did with undergrad, I went into it with a very open mind. I was like, okay, I don't really know what I want to do in the sports industry. I know I want to be on the sports business side. So I went in just super eager, ready to learn. And I applied for a bunch of different internships during the program. You did one class at a time, and then you had to do part-time internships for class credit on top of that. So I applied for a slew of different things, mostly in the guest services type route. So I did game day guest services for the Chargers, LAFC. I was on the premium concierge team with the LA Galaxy. I was a sales and service marketing intern with Rose Bowl premium seating. I owe everything to that first internship with the Rose Bowl. I did things. I worked for a sports medicine foundation doing fundraising for them. I did marketing at Long Beach State, doing promotions for games. I did just a bunch of different things to meet a bunch of different people and learn different skills that I could. And then a few months before, I went into the program just, again, I was like, hey, my goal is to meet all these people and get a full-time role in the sports industry. And then right before graduation, I got a job with the UCLA ticket sales and service team in their athletic department, doing football ticket sales, men's basketball ticket sales, and just general fundraising for the athletic department. And then COVID happened, and I still somehow kept my job there. And then I was called when an open opportunity became available at the LA Galaxy for a premium service coordinator. And the rest is history. I've been at the Galaxy now it'll be almost 4 years.
That's awesome. I'm super excited to hear that. That's a great journey. I mean, you bounced around in a lot of places, but I think that's part of the experience, right? You got to see what you like, kind of figure out what's going on. And it's super cool to see that you've almost been there for like 4 years now. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So building on your experiences, what are some ways that college students can set themselves up for a career in sports?
I think similar to what I did is find as many internships and part-time roles as you can. But also with that, like find the right balance so you're not like missing a bunch of days at one internship and then like fully committing to another one, because then you're going to burn your bridge with people and that just doesn't look great. And find someone with varying skills. Like don't just do all, because you want to work in operations, do every single operations internship that you can find. Like if you can find other stuff, like do like a fundraising one, game day guest services, operations, things like that to really expand your skills. That's super helpful. You might just be surprised with what you're interested in. Honestly, I think it helped me that I went into it with such an open mind. Network with people like crazy, like go to job fairs, mentoring events, reach out to people on LinkedIn just to like set up a 30-minute phone call with people and just be like, hey, I'm in college. I want to break into the sports industry. I would love to, chat with you for 15, 30 minutes, just learn more about what you can do, what you do, and how I can get to there. A lot of times you'd be surprised people are willing to help. I'm sure you might send emails and LinkedIn messages to a bunch of people, but I guarantee you that at least a few people will respond. And then get involved with athletic opportunities that you can on campus, especially at Arizona. Like I think there's things like the Sports Management Association, Zona Zoo, the athletic department is huge there. There's a bunch of ways that you can get involved locally, even in like Tucson or your local college community, wherever you are, even if it's volunteering somewhere like outside of your city. Like this past year, even I was at a premium seating conference and they had a bunch of interns that were there just for the weekend that were like from college. Like a kid, he was like, oh, I flew out here from Idaho to just volunteer here for the weekend. Like if you have means to go back home like for the weekend and go volunteer for like a tournament of some sorts, like don't be afraid to do that. You will meet a lot of people and learn some valuable things.
Absolutely. I think having an open mind is super important. And like you said, you'll never know what will come out of it and what you'll find interesting. So totally appreciate that advice and sounds really like a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So looking into your master's degree in sport management, how did that help you in your current role? And would you recommend higher education to those who wish to work in sports?
So I don't think you need a master's in sport management. For me specifically, the reason why I did it was because my undergrad was in public health and I was going to go the athletic training route, really just to have that on my resume and like go to a bunch of sport teams in LA and apply for a job in the front office just kind of didn't make sense with the skills and experience I had at the time. So it made sense for me to go and do that and do those required internships, learn those classes, meet the people from there. I owe that program just so much of who I am. I don't think it's completely necessary if you go to, let's say you're at Arizona and you immediately go in and do a bunch of different internships. You get involved on campus, you volunteer and do things at all these other events, whether that's in Tucson, whether you go down to Phoenix for the weekend, whether you're just reaching out to people like constantly on LinkedIn to learn more about what they do and show them how you can be an asset to their team in the future. I don't think that it's completely necessary. It's definitely helpful, but a lot of it is who you know too. I just happened to my first class in the sport management program, my mentor, Megan Bustios, she walked into the class, she was a guest speaker. And again, at this point, I had like no idea what I wanted to do. And after class, I just like ran up to her. I was like, hey, like I really resonated with what you said. I feel like you and I like vibe. And if there's any way that I can help on your team, like please let me know. We set up coffee. I became one of her interns and she just like took me under her wing. And granted, would I have ever met her or other people had I not been in the program? Probably not. Could I have tried to like put myself out there and meet people on LinkedIn and other events? Maybe. I wouldn't be able to tell you. But things like the things that I had to do for my program, like doing informational interviews, we were required to do informational interviews, I think like once every couple months. And that was just reaching out to somebody on LinkedIn or via email to say, hey, can I pick your brain about what you do? I'm writing a one-sheeter for school. I reached out to Andres Abarca, who ran the ticket sales and service team at UCLA. Reached out to him just for an informational interview for school, just to write my paper. And at the end of our meeting, he was like, "Hey, are you by chance looking for a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, I graduated in a couple months. I'm definitely looking for something full time." And what just turned out to be an informational interview ended up turning into an invite to a group interview for a job on the ticket sales and service team at UCLA. And that was how I got my first full-time role in the sports industry. So, I mean, doing those informational interviews from school, doing those required internships that are part of the program definitely will help you. I think there are other ways, though, that you can get that if you really put yourself out there and apply yourself in your undergrad.
Absolutely. No, it definitely makes sense. I mean, everyone kind of has their own journey and path in sports. And based on how your journey went, maybe that made more sense for you, but for some people, it might not be that way. But it's a really cool experience and seeing how what you did with your master's degree kind of led to where you are today.
Yeah.
So kind of looking more towards your job right now, what are some things that people should know before going into the sales and guest services side of the sports industry?
It is a grind, I will say. When I first got my first full-time role at UCLA, basically how everybody gets started in the ticket sales and service industry is you're in more of like an inside sales type role, which is like cranking out 50 calls a day to people to just buy a single game ticket to a football game, or calling people to bring a group out or buy season tickets. And it's a lot. You get hung up on a lot, yelled at a lot. It really teaches you a ton. You don't need to be like comfortable being on the phones and like drafting these emails with like your sales pitch like right away, but you have to learn it quickly. And like being with a manager that is willing to coach you and teach you the important skills that you need right off the bat could really make or break someone in the industry. But you have to be willing to do the work and learn. Like you are going to get out of an entry level experience what you put into it. If you want to go in and do the bare minimum and just make 50 calls a day and leave after, like you can totally do that. You're not going to get a ton out of it, but you really have to grind to start. I would say like, don't be afraid. I think sales is something that I definitely didn't think I'd be interested in. Starting my sport management master's, if you asked me like right off the bat, like what I'd be doing, when you hear the word sales, you're like, oh, these like slimy, car salesmen or like things like that. And that's just not really what it is. I love talking to people about their experience and being at games and making sure I can create these meaningful memories for people. And you just have to like put yourself out there and like connect with them, and then things will eventually like fall into place. And then like just starting off in a sales and service role, like you can't go into it just saying, hey, like I need to, hit my sales goals or make X amount of commission and sell, the most expensive thing on the menu, and do that just to like think you're going to like make a bunch of money. Like spoiler alert, people in sports don't make a ton of money unless you really, really work hard and can make a lot of commission. But really listen to people and learn what makes sense for them so that they like trust you, and eventually you'll move people up the ladder of like different products that you have, especially when you're just starting off, whether that's like starting someone with a single game ticket. They come out, they have an amazing time at that game. They're like, hey, okay, I want to buy a 6-game pack for the Galaxy season out of the 19 games. Let's move into that. Make sure they have an amazing experience at those 6 games. Get them into a season ticket. Get them into a premium membership. Like eventually move them up the ladder of the different products. But you have to just be honest with people. Listen to what they need and find something that fits and makes sense for them.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Those are some great perspectives. I definitely understand where you're coming from. You got to see where they are at before you can do anything else. And that's a really cool aspect of sales that seems to be like something that people might be interested in going into. And then kind of going on that, what specific skills do you believe are important for people to have to be successful in the sports industry?
You have to have grit. I mean, there are a lot of people that want to do what we do. It's very cool to say that you work in sports, but it's a lot. Like it's a lot of working on the weekends. It's a lot of working long hours. It's tough. It is not just sitting around and getting paid to watch a soccer game. Most of the time I couldn't even tell you what happened during a single minute of the game because I'm running around doing stuff. You really have to grind. It helps a lot to be outgoing and personable. Like my day-to-day is I'm connecting with all of my clients and making sure that they have the best premium seating experience, whether that's them being there for a single game rental in a suite, or my clients that have, seats on the field for the entire season. It's on me to be outgoing and personable with them. Like, we're not out curing cancer working in the sports industry. I'm trying to make sure that they have the best experience possible so they keep wanting to come back, because it's on me that they renew and keep their business with us for years to come. And a lot of that is, the services and things that I provide for them. And then I think just be fine going out of your comfort zone and help in other areas that might not be in your job description. That's really how you're going to learn more skills, and especially ones that might surprise you, I'd say.
Absolutely. No, that's great. Definitely got to kind of see where you're at and kind of just learn to grow as you progress through your role. And then kind of looking more into your career experiences, having spent time working in both college athletics and professional sports, what would you say are some of the similarities and differences between working in the two?
I think and I can't speak on everybody's experience, but for me, my role in college athletics was I worked on the ticketing team for football, men's basketball, and then did fundraising for the entire athletic department. So I had my hands in a lot of different buckets throughout the athletic department. I was able to learn a lot of things, which especially in my first full-time role was super important. Working in a professional sports team, I'd say that I'm really able to focus on my sole role without having my hands in too many different buckets, which is good because my job is to really make sure my premium seating members have the best game day experience, the best chance of wanting to keep coming back for so many years to come. And I can't be doing that if I'm focused on a pregame thing, having the kids that walk out with the team. If I'm working on things like that, I can't really be focused on my premium seating members. Whereas at UCLA, I was able to have my hands in a lot of different buckets and learn because our team was so much smaller. Our team at the Galaxy is a lot larger. And so we're all really able to focus in our lane. Not to say that I'm completely full menu at the Galaxy. So I can sell a single game ticket. I can sell a youth soccer team group to come out. I can sell a single game suite rental. I can sell a suite for the full season. I can do all those different things, but because our team is a lot larger, I am able to focus on my own role a lot more.
That's awesome. No, that's something I didn't even realize. That's really cool to see how both fields are a little different in their own ways, but they all kind of entail the same ideas. It's just a matter of how you go about doing them.
Right. I'm sure it's different for different roles. I'm sure the operations of a professional team versus a collegiate team have their differences. That's just from my experience.
No, absolutely. So kind of leading on to more of your time at the LA Galaxy, what has been your favorite part of your time working there? And what is something that you didn't expect going into your time?
Well, I think the easy answer is that my favorite part so far was in December. We won the MLS Cup, our 6th one so far since the team started in 1996. I grew up a Galaxy fan in Torrance, close by the stadium, going to games with my soccer team, my mom and my sister. And the fact that I was able to really work hard for the last 3 seasons that I've been there to it all lead up to that moment. And the fact that my sister lives out in San Francisco, she flew in for it. My mom was there, and that those two were able to share all that with me was really special. I work with amazing people and we all work super duper hard, and to be able to just see all your hard work pay off, when the final whistle blew, I just instantly burst into tears. It was such an amazing feeling. I hope that feeling never goes away. I'm so excited for the season to start and for us to hopefully run it back again. I think that something that I didn't expect going into it was that my clients have become such a big part of my life, and I really see a lot of them like family. I know, their birthdays, their kids' birthdays, some of their anniversaries, and to be a part of so many of their lives and share game day memories with them is incredible. Some of my favorite memories growing up were when I got to be at a Galaxy game and I like got to walk out on the field and hold the banner when they sang the national anthem and like walk out with the players. And the fact that like I get to replicate those experiences for my clients is super special. And then the people that I work with have become some of my best friends. And the fact that I get to learn so much from all of them too, and watch their wins and watch them succeed and learn from so many of them is something I wasn't expecting to happen as much as I thought it would. I'm very grateful that I get to work there.
Yeah, that's so awesome. It seems really cool to kind of have such a full circle moment from going to the games when you're a kid, and then now all of a sudden you're working for them.
Yeah.
You get to experience the championship. That's got to be an amazing feeling. And it really seems like your role has a lot to do with like people.
Yeah.
So people that like to interact with them, that might be something they might be interested in. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Having a personal impact on their types of lives as well as your own, you know?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it is personal for me. It's something I take really seriously. I know, especially like I work with a book of business that spends a lot of money with us, and it's important that they have the best experience. A lot of it is on me to make sure, you know, if they order catering in their suite, that like I make sure I provide the best experience to them, like that it's all set up and ready. Like if it's somebody's birthday, that, you know, our mascot Cosmo like goes by and like says hi to them. It's something just like super small, but it does go a long way.
Absolutely. Small things add up, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome. So then finishing up right here, if you could give one piece of advice to someone looking to break into the sports industry, what would it be?
I think be a sponge and learn as much as you possibly can. If you go in to wanting to work in sports and you're like, hey, I want to be an athletic director, and all you want to do is intern in collegiate athletic departments and shadow an athletic department or athletic director, there's a chance you might become an athletic director and learn from that experience only. But if you really be a sponge, let yourself learn a bunch of different things, be open to learning as many things as possible and not just stay in like one lane, you're going to get a lot out of that. Keep an open mind, especially just starting out in the industry. Like I was really surprised with what I found interest in and what I really enjoyed. I definitely didn't think, like I said, it was going to be like ticket sales and service. So I think if you really just be a sponge, learn as much as you possibly can, network like crazy, network your mind off, you will be successful.
Awesome. No, that's great advice. Thank you so much for ending on that. That's a good piece that people can take away from. Even me, myself, I need to do more networking myself. And that's something that we can all get a little better at and do a little bit more of. That will do it for this episode. Today, we were joined by Megan Bustios, the Premium Service Supervisor for the LA Galaxy. Megan, once again, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate you joining me today. Super excited to see where this goes.
Yes. Thanks so much, Tyler. I appreciate all your help.
And I would like to thank you all for taking the time to listen to this episode. I hope you found it interesting and ultimately took something away that will help you in the next steps of your journey. And with that, I will see you next time on the Next Gen Game Plan, a podcast for future sports leaders.